Show me the money.
Just looking good, but I think I'm taking too long.
Back to the spot for a Glock. I took a loss over floss, but still got a knock.
Money! I'm not proud, Jerry. Does that make you feel good just to say that?
All right, show me the money MLB edition here. We're getting ready to do our annual MLB over-unders here on the podcast. Joining me once again to do this here, podcast legal correspondent Phil Fraietta is here. Phil, how are you?
I'm doing well, Mike. How are you?
Doing good. I'm very excited to do this again because nice, unlike last year, so I had to rush this because we had the lockout and then the condensed spring training. Now I feel like we have a fully normal offseason. A lot to look forward to this year.
Yeah, definitely. I think this is what, the fourth or fifth year in a row we're doing this?
Something like that.
I can't remember. I guess the COVID year we did it kind of with the abbreviated schedule, but otherwise, yeah, it's pretty cool. And definitely a lot to look forward to in baseball this year. New rules has gotten a lot of publicity in spring training. I'm on record. I love them. I love the new rules. I'm excited.
Yeah, I'm very pumped with the new rules. As a guy who has a 20-game plan with the Mets, I'm very much appreciative of the pitch clock, getting these games moving a little bit quicker.
I like moving the game quicker. I like bat on ball, producing some base hits instead of ground outs into the shift. And I like seeing the rules tinkered a little bit to let base runners be base runners.
Yeah, I talked at the top of the podcast, too. I mean, the local teams both are projected to do pretty good this year. Both should be in the mix as World Series contenders here. I like what your team did with Volpe, giving him a shot on opening day. My team did not do that with both Beatty and Vientos in AAA. So, what? I know you want to weigh in on that Volpe decision.
I am so happy what the Yankees did. I'm a little shocked. Over the past week or so, I thought it was possible because they let him stick around and they kept playing him. But the Yankees, how many times over the years have they told us, oh, it's a competition and it's never really a competition? The kid won the job. He outright won the job and they're letting him play. I'm stunned. I thought at bare minimum we were going to hear about how he needed some time at AAA so that they can manipulate his service time, but they're doing the right thing. Now I hope that the Yankees and the fans understand that kid's 21 years old. There might be some growing pains, and you got to stick with him. I don't want to see a situation where it's April 15 and he's batting 100 and they send him down. You stick with the kid through the ups and downs, like Houston did with Pena. Pena went through a terrible slump in the summer last year, and they just stuck with him.
Yeah, that's for sure. It's nice to see him get rewarded and have the opportunity, arise to get the regular job. Whereas with the Mets, we're getting, like milestones about different defensive things, games play at AAA. It's to me, I'm seeing with the roster construction here, there are clear fits for guys like Beatty and Vienna. The Mets didn't take it. I take that their words are going to be up at some point, but if it came down to tiebreaker, it does kind of bother you that you're leaving guys who can help you immediately, essentially in AAA for who knows how long.
It's service time manipulation, 100%. Now the Mets will tell you that no, it's not. Buck prefers veteran players, and I get that. I know Buck prefers veteran players, but I agree with you. The Mets are in a division with 3 teams, including them, who could realistically win that thing. And these early April games, they matter. They're going to matter down the stretch.
Yeah, they will. Let's get now to the over-unders here. I ended up winning last year. I went 5-1 last year. I think you went 3-3. So as the runner-up here, I'll give you the choice here. We're going to use the odds once again from DraftKings Sportsbook. So would you like to have the first pick or the second and third picks? That will alternate.
I'll take the second and third, and I'm surprised I went 3-3. It felt like it was a lot worse than that. So
yeah, you had a couple of weight ones rally to get you back to the 500 mark.
Yeah. All right. I know you do well though.
Yeah.
So yeah, you can have the first pick. I'll take second and third.
All right. I'm going to start with an under here, a very, very easy under for me. How the Red Sox number is 78.5, it just makes absolutely no sense to me. Look at that team, what they did in the offseason. They let Bogarts go. They bring in Justin Turner, who is past his prime. They bring in Corey Kluber for the rotation. They bring a couple of bullpen guys in. Great. They overpaid for a guy for Japan. When I look at how the division has gotten, especially with the Orioles getting better now, I don't see how this is a above 500 team. You basically need the Red Sox to beat to win this bet. So I would take the under of the Red Sox first and run to the bank with it.
Yeah, I like that. I mean, They did win 78 games last year, but I agree they're worse. I think that's a lot of Alex Cora love given and just Red Sox. They're the Red Sox, so but I don't think they're a very good team this year. And you're right that if you look historically over the last 10 years or so, the Red Sox have had some real stinker years where they've lost 100 games and stuff like that. So I could see the Red Sox going, 70 and 92 or something like that this year for sure.
Yeah, I think that was a slam dunk for me. That's like the one I felt very happy about here to get on the board from my side. So, Phil, where do you want to go with your first one?
I'm going to go to the AL West. I'm going to take Seattle in the over. The number that I'm seeing is 87 and a half. I think that's a fair number, but I like the Mariners. I think they're a good young team. They won 90 games last year. I don't see any reason why they can't improve on that. I think that division stinks other than Houston. So I think Seattle can pick up some wins there. I understand that we're going to a more balanced schedule, but that even factors into the Seattle advantage because the American League kind of stinks in general. So they're going to get some more games with Tigers, more games with the Kansas City teams like that. So give me the over on the Mariners.
Yeah, I had that as number 2 on my board. I do love that pick. Plus, I mean, you get a full year of Luis Castillo with the Reds with the Mariners now. That will certainly be a big help. Plus, Teoscar Hernandez playing for a contract would be nice. And as you mentioned here, like you get some of these games out of the AL West, and still you're going into the interleague, and you get games against the NL Central weak teams. You get games against the Rockies thrown in there, extra games. Like they have a lot of opportunities to make up those wins.
Yeah, and more games against teams in the American League too. So yes, I think there's definitely opportunities to make those up.
All right, so you have one over on the board. Where are you going next?
I'm sticking in that division. Doing something that I think I should have done a long time ago when we've done this. Give me the Astros and the over. I mean that team is just. I don't care who's on the team. I don't care how much they lose every year. They are a juggernaut. I think they're going to win 100 games again. Their number is 95 and a half. I know it's a high number, but I see no reason why they can't get to 100. Give me the over on the Astros.
Yeah, that was number 1 on my board. So you got my top 2 picks on the over side. So good job there with the Astros. And like you said, this is sort of like we were talking about the Dodgers last year. It's like no matter what happens to them, they seem to always be in that spot where they're up there. No matter who they lose, who they bring in, there's the machine. And like even without Justin Verlander and Yuli Gurriel, they're still gonna like reload. Jose Abreu comes in to help take some of the offensive slack off that team. Plus, like they have a full rotation without Verlander. They have another kid, Hunter Brown, may not crack the rotation. They have a lot going on there.
It seems that they can get anybody to pitch, and they're good. So I just, if you go back over the years, this is a team that's won 100 games basically every year since 2017. I see no reason to believe they won't win 100 games this year.
Yeah, I would agree with that. Since you already dipped into the overs twice, I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to take like an over here I feel very good about here. I'm going to take the Cardinals over 88.5 wins because that division's still not very good, the NL Central here. And I know the Cardinals only had the one big offseason. We're bringing Wilson Contreras to replace Yadier Molina after he retired here. That's going to help them a lot. Always in better health than their pitching here. And this team always has this kind of magic where, like, no matter what you look at their rosters, there always seems to be around 90 wins in the playoffs every year. So I'll take the bet on the Cardinals again.
I like the Cardinals. I think they're a solid team. I think I just think they're overall a solid team. 90 I think it's a good number for them. Could they win 87? Sure, but that's what makes it so hard.
Yeah, I just feel like they always find a way. There's always this little magic where they go on this like streak in like the middle of the summer where they win like 17 out of 20, and all of a sudden they're right there every year.
Yeah, and let's face it, that team also has two of the best middle of the order bats in baseball.
Yep.
So those guys are going to carry them.
All right, so you've used 2 of your overs so far. Where are you going next?
I'm going, I'm going back to the AL West, but I'm going with an under this time. Texas, 82 and a half. No way. I don't see it. I know they brought in DeGrom. He'll be great for 15 starts, as you know.
Yep, he will.
And then he'll be back on the disabled list. I think Corey Seager and Marcus Simeon last year. What did that do for them? They lost. They only won 68 games. I don't see that big of a jump for Texas. Maybe even if they win 10 more games to get to 78, I'm still easily under. So give me the under on the Rangers.
Yeah, I like that pick because you guys here obviously you can't count on DeGrom to give you the full season as starts. When he's there, he'll be great, but he's not going to be there for more than half the season based on his recent track record. And like all these guys, they still have holes throughout the lineup. They still have like guys who you're you're getting more than one great year out of Martin Perez and Andrew Heaney. That's a question also. I mean, like they look like they won the offseason on paper, but like they I don't trust them.
I agree.
Yeah. All right, so you are on the board with your first under here. I'm gonna go back to the under well here. We're gonna keep attacking that division here. Once again, Angels under 82.5. They won for me last year. I don't know how many times you can tell me, oh, they got better, they have depth, they have Mike Trout, they have Shohei Ohtani. This team finds ways to lose games over and over and over again. And like I don't see where the all of a sudden Tyler Anderson and a couple of depth guys on the infield supposed to make this team like go over 500 wild card mix. I do not see. I think you're going under. Plus, there's a chance that if they got to a bad start, you're trading Ohtani the deadline, and then all of a sudden they plummet.
I agree. I don't see it at all.
Yeah.
I that's a team that it's been so many years now. Prove it to me.
Yeah. Plus, like when Anthony Rendon stays healthy, in this kind of be the first time.
Yeah, sure. Anthony Rendon. I mean, that's a guy who doesn't even want to play baseball. He just wanted his money.
Yeah, that's for sure. So we've hit 4 of the 5 teams in the AL West already. I expect the 5th might come up soon here. Phil, where are you going now for your next one? You have 2 overs and 1 under on the board.
I'm not going to the 5th team in that division. The number's too low. So I am looking around, and obviously the later you go, the harder this gets. But I think I'm going to take an over here for the. You know what? I'm doing it. Over for the Padres, 93.5. Give me the over on the San Diego Padres. It's not a team that I love because I think that they have some maturity issues, but they seem to be blooming and blossoming into there's obviously just talent all over the place. I think Bogarts was a very good pickup for them. They're bringing in a proven winner and a champion to go and join that team that has a obviously the solid core with Soto. They're getting a full year of Soto. They got Tatis back. Machado's a stud. So give me the over on San Diego. And I think that the Dodgers have taken a step back too. So give me the over on the Padres.
Yeah, it's certainly a fair number to play with the Padres. I would lean towards the over with that. For me, it's like I saw enough last year. Things went wrong for them. I'm not going to touch the number, but I don't fault you for going with it.
I think Bogarts adds a lot. I really do. He's a championship caliber player, someone who's actually won something.
Yeah, that's certainly true here. Now my next pick here, I'm going to go with a team that has not done very well recently, but I like what they did in the offseason. They have some good talent coming up here. The number is also not that high for me to clear. I'm going to take the Pirates over 68.5 wins. I like what they did to bring in some veterans to help show up their team there. Like McCutchen coming back was nice. They brought in Carlos Santana. That's also a big help here. They have some decent pitching depth. They have some good kids. O'Neal Cruz, Brian Hayes, Brian Reynolds is still there. So they have some talent here. And that's such a low bar to clear, and the Reds stink, and I don't buy the Cubs. I think the Pirates, I can see as being like a 72-win team. I clear the number. I think that they have kids on the way who will help too. So give me the Pirates over.
Okay. They got to turn it around eventually.
Yeah.
So I don't fault you.
Yeah, I think that this is. I look for always one of those overs. Like the bar is low, and this team can win 5 more games than you think they will. I think they're in good. Like it's a good spot.
Sure.
All right, so you're up now. Here you have used all your overs. You only have 2 unders left to go. So where are you going next?
Well, gets tough, but I'm going to take the under here of looking through here. You know what? I'm going under on the Marlins. They're at 76.5. I don't think it's a terrible number, but it would require a pretty big bump from their ultimate season last year. They're in a tough division. So give me the under on Miami.
Yeah, Miami, the question with them always is, like, are they going to hit enough? Because they have plenty of pitching. They have this weird thing going on. They have, like, 5 different second basemen playing different positions here. They have a weird offensive setup, the Marlins.
Yeah, the weird offensive setup. They do. Their pitching is excellent, obviously, but the setup is on the offense is a little strange. The division's tough. I know the Nationals stink, but the other teams are good. and they're going to have to, play a little bit outside the division, obviously a little more. So that maybe is a plus, although they means that they have to play some juggernauts too a little more. So I think overall, give me the under on the Marlins. It's not. I don't expect it to be the number 76 and a half. So I think it's gonna be close, but maybe I get that one with 74, 75 wins or something like that.
Yeah, it's not a bad play, especially considering, again, if you look at some of the guys they have. I mean, they have Luis Arias playing, I think he's actually playing first base now. They have, I think, Jazz Chisholm's out to center field. They have Gene Segura playing third base, they have second base. They have like a bunch of guys out of position. That never seems to work out very well.
No, no, it does not.
All right, so I am up now here. I have one more under and one more over here. I'm not sure I'm going to go with the over here, so I'm going to take my last under here. I think this is a team that everything go right for them last year. I would expect a little regression of the mean here. I'm going to take the Guardians under the 86.5 wins here. I feel like this team had so much break right in terms of young guys developing, in terms of, the pitching was great, like the hitting did enough. I feel like another year getting less games against the division is going to hurt. The White Sox and Twins also should be a lot better than they were last year. I just don't buy Cleveland going like perennially a 90-win team. I think this is more like an 84, 85 win team that happened to get hot last year. So I'm going to take the under on the Guardians.
They can pitch, and they have some good players, but I agree with you. I think it's a team who got hot. I think they're a little inflated based on their playoff series with the Yankees, where they obviously were scrappy. But at the end of the day, I don't think the team has enough talent. Although the one thing that does concern me a little bit about your pick is I think that Cleveland is a team who's set to really benefit from these new rules. They have a lot of guys who put the bat on the ball and can run, and that should benefit them. So I think that's a bump, and they do have obviously the veteran leadership with Francona, but I agree. I'm not crazy about the team either.
All right, so you have one more pick to go here. It's another under. So where are you going with the last pick?
Well, I think at this point I got to go for just who do I think is just going to be absolutely terrible. And there I'm going to go to team who bit me last year, the Detroit Tigers, 69 and a half. Last year I thought that maybe they'd have some young players who could blossom. That did not happen. They had no young players who blossomed really. So give me the under on the Tigers. I just don't think they have really anything that concerns you. I mean, they've got Riley Green. He looks like he's talented, but otherwise you're talking about Javi Baez, a washed up Miguel Cabrera. They don't have a whole lot of pitching under Detroit Tigers.
Yeah, it's a solid play here. It's like one of those things. There's so many young guys. We have a lot of growing pains that team too. Whether it's like Spencer Torkelson, all the young pitchers, Riley Green. They have a lot of guys, and we're gonna get a lot of playing time. They're gonna go through their lumps.
Yeah, it's a low number. That's what concerns me, but that seems like a team that could lose 100 games.
Yeah, for me, I feel like the team's gotta be god awful for 4 months, and then when the kids start clicking, they might get hot in August, September.
Right, and that could kill me.
Yeah.
That hot streak could pull them to 72 wins or something like that, and then I lose. But give me the under on the Tigers.
All right. My last one here is it says it's going to be the homer pick here, and I do think this number is a little did take a hit obviously when they lost Edwin Diaz in the World Baseball Classic. I take the Mets over the 91.5 here. I do feel like there are questions with the offense. I do think that the old pitching staff is definitely a question here, but I think they benefit tremendously from the new rules of the shift and whatnot. They put the ball in play more than almost any team in the league. That will help them generate offense in a lot of different ways. They have prospects on the horn. They have an owner who's willing to throw money around the deadline to help get this team better here. And I do think that, yes, they're not winning 101 again, but I do think that saying this is going to be a 90-win team or less, I think is a bit too low of a bar here. I think their sweet spot's like between 92 and 94. And I think I clear that number either way. So I'll take the Met over.
Okay. Can't fault you for taking the Met over. It's not been kind to you most years, but sometimes it has. I like the Mets. I like the team. The only negative I have of the Mets is I don't think they have enough pop. And I think they know that. So I think they're going to be on the hunt to get a bat. in there that add some pop to help out Alonso. And obviously losing Edwin Diaz is a killer.
It's a killer. The thing I'll point out though is like the pop thing is definitely a longer term concern. It's a postseason problem, but like their way they're built, they're gonna be very good to beat, tough to beat in the regular season because they put the ball in play, they make plays defensively, they pitch, and you have Buck Showalter, who's going to be probably one of the fast managers to get this team up to speed on the new rules than any other staffs in the league.
Yeah, they have all that going for them. And no team is perfect. But to me, they're the Mets' biggest weakness is they just don't have enough pop.
Yeah,
and maybe that's coming because like we talked about at the start of this segment, they have some kids in the minor leagues who have some pop, and you might see those kids come June.
Yeah, you might see them even sooner if like Eduardo Escobar or Tommy Pham don't get off to a hot start either.
Right.
Yeah.
And bring those kids in there. You get. I really think that's to me the thing with the Mets. They were kind of one hitter away.
Yeah, they had been. I thought they had in Carlos Correa. It's a whole discussion for another day here. To reset the picks on the board here, Phil was going with the Mariners over 87.5, the Astros over 95.5, the Rangers under 82.5, the Hammers the AL West, Padres over 93.5, Marlins under 76.5, Tigers under 69.5. How do you feel about your picks?
I like them. I'm pretty happy. I went strong in that AL West, but I think that the AL West was the layup division. Neither of us touched Oakland, though. I guess that number was too low.
Yeah, I had on my list of considerations. I have ones I like better on the under departments. That's why I didn't touch it.
Yeah, agreed.
All right, my picks here. Red Sox under 78.5, Cardinals over 88.5, the Angels under 82.5, Pittsburgh Pirates over 68.5, the Guardians under 86.5, and the Mets over 91.5. I feel pretty good about that mix here I have. I feel like I got some good ones there. The Guardians definitely my riskiest pick, but I feel like I have a conviction on that one.
I like your picks. I think they're diverse. I think you ended up pretty good. I think both of us. I like where both of us are here.
Absolutely here. And the last thing I want to touch on here is neither one of us again took the Yankees. The number is 93.5. I feel like that number is right on the nose in my opinion, especially consider that they had some pitching injuries early to deal with. You're not going to have Montas the whole season. Like, you should get Rodon back by the end of April. Who knows what Severeino's timeline is here. I do think, though, like, they seem to always find a way to be in that low 90s, like mid-90s total. So that's why I didn't touch the number.
The Yankees, we have barely touched the Yankees over the years of doing this. And I always feel that Vegas gets the Yankee number perfect. And I guess it's because of the publicity that comes with the Yankees. To me, it's the right number. And the reason I think it's the right number is the Yankees are an older team now. And what's going to come with that, with an older team and this new playoff format, is I expect them to kind of take their foot off the gas a little bit coming down the stretch. I don't think the Yankees are going to go all out to win the division. I think they'd be perfectly content taking a wild card, that kind of first wild card spot, if that's what it comes to for them. I do like they have good pitching, but like you said, who the hell knows if those pitchers are going to be on the field. I like their hitting. I think the new rules do help the Yankees a lot. They have a lot of guys who I think are going to see tremendous benefit from not shifting them, namely Rizzo and Stanton, guys who really can't run but do hit the ball very hard. I think Volpe gives them an added element on the base paths, but they have some veteran older guys who I don't know what you're going to get from. Josh Donaldson, I know Boone's high on him, but I don't know how you could be. DJ LeMahieu, what do you get out of LeMahieu? Who knows? What do you get out of Gleyber Torres? How many games are you going to get Rizzo? And, Bader, I understand the Yankee fan thinks that he's the next coming of Babe Ruth. He's not. Harrison Bader, he's a good player, but he is not Babe Ruth. You're not going to have 60 home runs out of him. And remember, this is a team that last year was the best team in baseball for half the season, and then they stunk for another
2 months.
2 months or so, and then they got good in the last month of the season to get their way into the playoffs. And that was with Aaron Judge having the best season of all time. So I don't know. I could see the Yankees winning 95 games. I could see them winning 92 games. That's why I'm not touching that number.
Yeah, I think it's the right number because, I mean, you mentioned last year Judge has a historic season as he carries the offense. Not much change on that offense, which was basically non-existent down the stretch apart from him. I mean, the things like I see this like about 60% of their outcome, I feel like, is in that 91 to 95 win window where they're like either winning the division or getting one of the top wild cards. There's like 20% chance where they exceed it and they, like win 100 games again and they're one of the top teams in the American League. And there's another, I think there's a 20% chance where like everything goes wrong and they win the low 80s. I think that's the range I see with most of it's in the higher end of that scale.
Yeah, and it's obvious. I mean, we can sit here right now, and if you tell me how many games are Aaron Judge, Giancarlo Stanton, and DJ LeMahieu going to play, if you tell me that all three of those guys are going to play 140 or more games, the Yankees are going to win 100 games.
Yeah.
But who knows?
Yeah, it is a who knows, Phil. We'll definitely check back again later on in the year, see how we're doing on these. Thanks for all the time. Really appreciate it.
Thanks, Mike. Appreciate the time. And yeah, can't wait for Thursday.